Spring is in the air and Easter's right around the corner, and although the pandemic is impacting many Easter egg hunts, there's still many ways to entertain the children at home, like making Easter cookies. I'm Liz Winters from News 12, and joining me is Rene Gonzalez from Bambino Chef, who's helping us make treats that will be that perfect fit for those Easter baskets. Rene, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm really excited to share one of my favorite recipes.
So tell me what we're going to be making today.
We are going to bake Greek Easter cookies.
Tell me what ingredients we need to make these with.
Yes, absolutely. They are so easy to make. So all we will need today is all-purpose flour, granulated sugar, vanilla extract, baking powder, couple eggs, 2 eggs, butter, and orange. And we are ready to roll.
All right, so let's get into this. I have my bowl, I have my ingredients here, and I'm so excited. So Rene, please guide me through what I have to do.
With pleasure, Liz. So this recipe is really easy. It's also very kid friendly. So it's a fun one to make together with kids or just by yourself. So first things first, we're going to start with one large mixing bowl. And again, I try to keep it nice and simple. So it's going to be the one bowl recipe. So we're going to start with an orange, and we're going to zest one orange directly into the mixing bowl. So let's get started with that, with just one medium orange. Once we are done with the zesting portion, we are going to add 1/3 cup of white granulated sugar directly into the same bowl. Now that we added 1/3 cup of granulated sugar, we're just going to go in with our hands and rub that zest together with sugar. Now that the sugar is ready, we're going to start with the creaming. We're going to go ahead with the creaming process, which is essential in baking. So we will need 4 tablespoons, 1/4 cup of softened butter. So it needs to be nice and soft. And basically, you can press down, you can make it dense, so it's nice and soft. And we're going to start cutting that butter into sugar and just mixing, and we are starting the creaming process here. Now, do not panic if your butter gets stuck in the whisk. It's eventually going to come out. We are trying to achieve this nice, soft mix. We are going to go ahead and crack 1 egg into the mix. Our second egg will be used later for the egg wash. So let's go ahead and add the egg. Now that our egg is in, we're going to add 2 tablespoons of milk. And again, we want to make sure our milk is also at room temperature. In addition to orange zest, we're going to add our vanilla extract. Now, vanilla extract, we're going to go with 1/2 teaspoon of vanilla extract. And
it smells good already.
It does. For this recipe, we will require 1.5 cup of flour. Spoon and level, which means we really have to be very precise about the measurements. Too much flour will yield a very dry, dense cookie, and too little, the dough will not hold together, will be too moist and too sticky. Now that we added our flour, we're going to go ahead and add our baking powder so cookies can rise a little bit. So we will need 1/2 teaspoon of baking powder. And the very last ingredient for now will be salt, 1/4 teaspoon of salt. Now that we have everything in, we're going to grab our mixing spoon, one hand on the bowl, nice and slow.
And when you're making this, how do you know when the dough is ready?
Excellent question. So when you are putting your dough together, 99% of the time, it causes a little bit of anxiety to everybody who's putting the dough together because it looks very shaggy, very dry, very piecey. But as you continue mixing it and you see your dry bits incorporate with your wet parts, it's getting there. At this point, we can actually remove the spoon and go in with our hands. And usually what I do, I go in quick motions. So I'm not holding the dough for too long in my hands, so because the heat from my hands, I don't want it to get too sticky. Now that this is ready, the dough is ready, I'm going to lightly flour the surface where I'm going to work with my dough and shape the cookies. And here is the dough. One of the things we will do, we will lightly knead the dough, not too much. We don't want to work out too much protein, the gluten in it, just lightly, so maybe about 5 times. So the way we're going to go about this, we're going to push with the palm of our hands away from ourselves and then pull. So the dough is ready. Now it's nice and smooth. So from here, it's up to you. You can split it in half, or we can go directly from here. So usually, generally speaking, just for myself, I like to split the dough in half.
Okay.
And I have now 2 bowls of dough. And again, flour is so important. It will prevent the dough from sticking to your fingers or to the surface where you're working. So from here, I'm going to roll this dough into a log like this. And honestly, you can keep it even easier. You don't have to do this. Kids can just break pieces. So now that I have my little log here, I'm going to break it into pieces, even pieces, and those are the ones we're going to use to bake, to shape our cookies. And now that we have a little bowl, this is the fun part. We get to shape your cookie. Now you can shape it. You can shape it as a log. You can twist it. You can shape it as a heart, a circle, pinwheel, a letter S. We are going to transfer the shaped cookies onto the baking sheet. And we're going to space them about 1/2 inch apart from each other. The next step will be to prepare our egg wash. It is very, very important because egg wash is what it gives your cookies that final, beautiful finish. Nice, shiny, brown color on top of your cookies. We're going to generously brush the top of each cookie. We are going to place the baking sheet in the oven, middle rack, and we're going to bake them at 400 degrees for 20 minutes. Once the cookies are ready, once you remove them out of the oven, we suggest to let them cool for about 10 minutes so they can cool and set. And after that, bon appetit, enjoy them, they are ready to go.
And I've made some ahead of time and they are absolutely delicious. My first time baking them. I'm not that much of a baker, but they came out delicious and I'm actually very proud of myself for making them.
You should be. They look magnificent, amazing.
Rene Gonzalez from Bambino Chef, thank you so much for being with us today. This has been so much fun. For News 12, I'm Liz Fuentes.